All right, guys, I'm here with a bit of information for Dragon Ball Legends. Oh my goodness, I am so excited. But the 16th Dragon Ball Legends video and stuff has just ended, and with it, we got a ton of information concerning quality of life changes and a character I was not expecting to come in this early. So I'm very excited about that. But before I get into it, I do just want to, give a quick note. During the video and stuff, they actually, announced that Toshi injured himself. He specifically hurt his back. So for anybody on the Legends team that may ever come across this video, I just want to say that I do wish Toshi the best in his recovery. I genuinely do hope that he will be okay. And now, getting back into the main focus, oh my goodness, the quality of life changes, man. Let's just get right into it. So the very first one is a change coming to how you're able to utilize multi-Z power. Not necessarily in the sense of like they're gonna function differently, but they're going to be easier to use. So to give you guys an example, there are some multi-Z power in the game that you're only able to stock up once, right? And because of that, the excess multi-Z power you would get would go into your presence box. And if you wanted to use that, you would have to go into your original box with all the multi-Z power, use that specific one, then go to your presence box, accept that, go back into the, it was a constant cycle. I'll just put it like that. But now they've streamlined it. So when you receive multi-Z power, you're able to utilize it immediately, which I think is great. So again, you receive it, you go to the presence box. If you're not able to accept it, or if you are able to accept it, you can immediately use it on whoever you want. That way, you can kind of clear out your presence box of all the multi-Z power that's kind of stuck there. And in my personal case, that's a good thing because I literally did the Legends Limit Break banner to get that 600 Legends Limited multi-Z power, but I have 2 sets of those. So it'll allow me to be able to just use that one immediately and then use the other one as quick as I can to buff up the new LF unit, which we'll get into later because I'm still very, very excited about that. But all in all, still a completely welcome change because, oh goodness, we really needed that. Now, next thing is about missions. Now, during your missions, if you were to, for example, soul boost a ton of characters, right? You would get those mission rewards where, it's like 100,000 boost panels, 100,000, 110,000, however much, right? But you would only get those type of rewards individually. And it took a long time to cycle through all of them to accept them all. But now they finally separated them. So what happens is when you reach one of those type of thresholds, the next one will pop up underneath it. And then when you achieve that one, the next one will pop up underneath it. That way, when you're ready to just accept it all, you can just accept it all instead of having to do 5, 6, 7 exceptions to be able to get your rewards. Very nice change. I've been wanting this in the game for a long while because I've been saying it takes too long to accept some of these missions. They need to start separating them so you can just accept all of them at once. And now they're doing that. So again, welcome change entirely. Now, the next one is a very, very quick thing, but it is still a nice quality of life change, is for the Tournament of Power mode, you were only able to check your TP while you were inside the game mode. But now on the home screen, it will show your TP on the bottom of the Tournament of Power icon. So for anybody who's been, trying to figure out if they're even able to continue playing Tournament of Power, it's significantly easier now because you can see it right from the home screen, which is great. Now, moving on. This is a feature I have been begging for far too long. When it comes down to your adventures, you are now able to automatically set your adventures all at once. Thank God. Now, we kind of have that feature, like just a little bit. And I mean that in the sense of after you set your adventures, when they're done, you obviously claim your rewards, but you have the option to start the next adventure of, the same type, right? But now, instead of just going one by one selecting adventures, you can just automatically select the adventures and it'll get it started immediately. That is a big change because it makes dealing with that faster. But I mean, it's obviously still gonna take time because adventures are no less than an hour long, but it still makes the initial process of setting up those adventures even easier. And of course, giving us that type of option is a phenomenal thing. I've been wanting that in the game for far too long, so I'm very glad that we finally have it. Next up is an update to the equipment system, and it concerns rerolling. Now, we all know rerolling can take forever, right? But we now have the option to preset a specific amount of times we're able to re-roll. And I believe it gives us the option to stop after a certain point as well, completely on our own discretion, right? So when it comes down to re-rolling, you're now able to preset up to 10 erasers to be able to re-roll an item slot, which is great. So what will happen is you'll set it, we'll just use 10 as the example. You'll set it up to 10, and it will keep re-rolling up to 10. But each time you get a new slot filled, you have the option to stop. So let's say that like you preset it to 10, but maybe on the 4th time, you get that perfect slot that you were waiting for, you can press stop and keep that slot. So that is nice. But of course, if it doesn't happen, you can re-roll all the way up to 10. It makes the process a lot faster because this process takes a very long time. Now it's faster. I'm completely down with that. Okay, now we get into a change that should have been in a very, very long while ago, and also something I noticed that they didn't really talk about. So in the game, you will be able to filter your searches based off of your Z ability and also your Zenkai ability, which is nice because if you're trying to form a team based off of certain buffs, sometimes just searching up their tag isn't really enough, right? You want to make sure that you're getting that specific buff that you're looking for, and now you have that option. So if you want to go about it the old way, you absolutely can, or if you want to go about it the new way, once again, you absolutely can, because it's, well, an option. Again, more options is never a bad thing. And one quick thing that, you know, they actually never touched on is we can finally filter by ultra units now. I don't understand why it took them this long, but you can now filter by ultra units as well. Granted, I mean, there's only 2, but that's now an option. It should have been in since they added Ultra Goku, but now it's here, so that's pretty cool. Okay, now we get into one of the bigger changes. So we are stepping into the battle system 2.4, and one of the biggest things that the community was talking about for a long while ago was perfect vanish and having no way to determine whether or not you're properly executing it or not. But now you're able to visually see it and be able to hear it as well. So when you perfect vanish, a type of flash effect forms around your character and a sound effect will also play. And if that happens, that is the ultimate indicator that yes, you have just activated perfect vanish. And of course, we all know the benefits of perfect vanish. If you're able to perfect vanish, you're able to follow up immediately without having to worry about the opponent, you know, being able to get out of the way. So yeah, just having that indicator does make things easier because, and we've all been through this, like when we have an opponent perfect vanish, it's frustrating because it's like, how in the world, right? But now you can now see it and you can hear it. So you can start trying to fit your, well, I won't say fit your playstyle, but you're now able to try to properly gauge when they're going to try to execute something like that, right? But they're also making other changes to PvP as well. And if I'm not mistaken, because you gotta also cut me some slack, because again, like they were also struggling with English, so I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. But there were other changes that they're trying to make to PvP as well. And one of the main things was about how the game is really defensive, right? Let's be honest, the meta in the game right now is to float to like long range and then wait out your opponent and then counterattack. It's been that way for a very, very long while, but now they're trying to figure out a way to, I guess, make it a bit more offensive, if you will. Like we've had metas like throughout the various years of it being too offensive, too defensive, etc., etc. Right now it's too defensive, so they're gonna try to find a balance. And not only that, they also mentioned that they're going to start putting combo compensation on any type of combo, right? And the main reason is because, or at least from how they were trying to explain it, so hopefully I'm explaining this right, but based on how people's playstyles are, your combo compensation should have been happening no matter what type of way you play the game. So how they're gonna execute that, I have no idea, but hopefully that'll balance things out, because there are some characters out there that keep combos going for a very, very long time, and combo compensation doesn't really take effect. So now they're gonna try to standardize that, so that way it doesn't matter what you do, combo compensation will happen. So there's that. And of course, there's gonna be more changes coming as well. Now, we get into the big portion of this, all right? The first one, I'm not gonna dwell on because there really were no details on this unit like that, but I covered this yesterday anyway. We're getting Zenkai KAUBA. Like, he's coming soon. I believe he has buffs that help out Vegeta. So there's really that, not really much to talk about. If you want to know my initial thoughts, I made a whole video about that yesterday. Go ahead and check that out. But we get into the unit. I am so excited that we're finally getting in the game, and we're getting him very early. But we are getting Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta. Oh my goodness. Now, the reason why I'm so excited for this is because I was not expecting this to happen this soon. Like, and if we're getting this now, we're close to God of Destruction Topo. We're close to, you know, well, you guys call him MUI Goku. We're close to Full Power Jiren. We're close to all of that. Oh man, it's gonna be exciting. But we have a few details on this Vegeta. I mean, obviously one of them is he's an LF unit. His legendary finish is Final Explosion, so that looks awesome. His super attack is also Final Flash, and I think his special skill is, it seems like it's an AoE move that leads into a punch. I'm not necessarily sure, but we'll have to wait and see about that. But we do know that Super Saiyan Blue Evolved Vegeta is what they're calling him anyway. He's a range type, and when you attack while your ki is below a certain point, you destroy your opponent's ki while gaining buffs. So that means that, well, actually it's kind of confusing because you would want to actually attack while your ki is low, right? But that also puts you in a dangerous spot because the lower your ki, the less you're able to continue your combo. But in this case, the lower your ki, then the better chance you have of being able to not only deal more damage, but also cripple your opponent's ki. So it sounds like a high risk, high reward type thing, but it actually doesn't sound too bad if executed properly. Again, we'll have to wait and see once we get our hands on the character, but I really do think that it could be something devastating. And again, if you're able to cripple your opponent's ki, that's always a good thing. Like, being able to prevent them from comboing is a good thing. The tags that he buffs, I believe, were God Ki and was it Vegeta family? I'm pretty sure it was those two. And they claim that his defenses are darn near flawless. But this Vegeta also has blast cover, so there's that too. Man, I can't believe we're finally getting this unit, man. It's been a very long time coming, but we're finally getting Super Saiyan Blue Evolved Vegeta, and I am extremely excited. I'm trying to decide if I want to go 20k or if I want to go 30k, because this is a hype unit. Like, look, if you're not using your crystals on this unit, something is wrong. You should absolutely be using your unit or your crystals on a unit like this, because this is a hype unit. But that was practically everything that was announced in the Dragon Ball Legends video and stuff, number 16 specifically. But I do want to know your guys' thoughts on all of this in the comment section below. But with that being said, I'm Ndukauba. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.